Hey you. Hey you there. You looking for a tier list? Looking for a legend tier list? Come in close, come in close. I've got the goods. I got the goods, but I just gotta warn you. There's big changes. There's big old changes coming. So I hope you're ready. I hope you go out and buckle yourself in. Because we're about to dive in. Because big things are coming. Big things. Big things. Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video. And in today's video, it is that time of the month again. We're over on the global side of the game doing our Legends or Sugo Fest tier list. And as I mentioned in the little intro, big things are coming. As you can see, there's a lot of changes. And we're going to be doing a lot of changing here. We're going to scrap some tiers. We're going to add some tiers. Tiers have already been added. Some characters are going to move. A lot of characters are going to move. Plus, we've got some new legends to talk about. We have the 6+ of Germa. We have King and Queen's release. And off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure that's all we have to talk about in terms of the new characters. But we do have a lot else. Oh, and Sanji. Sanji's the other one. With the treasure map Sanji. But as always, if you are enjoying today's video, make sure to go down there and belt that like button for me if you're new to the channel too. Hit the big red subscribe button. And before we continue this tier list, as you guys know, this is my personal tier list by playing global. And obviously, like, it's going to be a little bit biased now with Japan. Like, I know what's coming for global. Obviously, once we get the sync, it'll be a little bit different. But playing the game, I have all the legends besides like Katakuri on Japanese side of the game. So I have played with all these characters and I can speak from first-hand experience. We are going to get that chopping knife out and we are going to do a little bit of changes. As I mentioned, this is my personal opinion, so if you have a different opinion, let me know in the comment section below. I love to hear what you guys have to think, what you guys have to say, and if you agree, if you disagree, why you agree, please let me know in the comment section below. There is no such thing as a wrong opinion, just make yourself be heard in a fashion that is beneficial for all parties, of course. Or, as always, huge shout out to the OPTC tier list maker and the database for the images provided. As always, I do like to structure my tier list on the three big things of utility or usability, power, which is like usability as well, and speed. So usability is like the main category, and then like utility, power, and speed all come into play with that. We do have a bunch of tiers. As you can see, I am going to change a lot when it comes to some of these characters. I do want to sort of separate the kerfuffle. We have a little bit of conundrum here, and a lot of characters sort of just sit in the same tiers, and it doesn't sort of show a good representation of how good these characters actually are, and where they are most used in play. For myself, I guess is the best way to put it. And using my JP account, I can sort of tell you guys what characters I have leveled up, what characters I haven't leveled up, and sort of like what I am and aren't using. So, let's take a quick look here. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to totally scrap the PvP tier. We're going to be looking at this particular tier list as just as like a regular play. So we are going to sort of scrap the tier list completely. Rayleigh, you could probably put him as an A tier sub. He's an orb booster, damage reduction, chain locker. I guess you could find a spot for him, but honestly, like, nowadays, like, I haven't even leveled him up in Japan, so he's dookie. Enel, A tier sub, just because he's such a good color affinity booster. Honestly, most of the time for this guy, I'm using him as a support. I'm probably going to put him in support, because that's basically where I use him most. You have Boa and Luffy, which literally just do what this guy does. So, like, would you say that's an A tier sub, or would you just use the free-to-play character, you know? But it is what it is. So we're going to put him in support for now. This Iso is dookie. This Dofi has an amazing support, being a 1.75 times booster to driven characters when they rotate orbs. Inuarashi is dookie. Frankie has a good support. Kizaru is dookie. Ace has a good support for Whitebeard locking orbs for 2 turns. Whitebeard is absolutely dookie. And Kuzen is absolutely dookie as well. So that way we can just go like this. We can remove that tier. Bob's your uncle. We are good to go. I'm going to remove the if you like the style too. Because like this is like talking like from my experience, I guess, of playing the game. So if the content requires you to use Mihawk, you can use Mihawk if you like. Same with Usopp. If you need to get that guaranteed delay, if the content requires you to, he can be good. Hawkins, he's dookie. Shout out to my boy KroobyG, but he's dookie. Magellan, dookie. Katakuri needs a 6+ so badly, like it's not even funny. This Dofi honestly needs a 6+. You're never really running this Dofi. This Tank Man, I guess like is pretty niche. He's an attack booster nowadays, so like honestly, like there's just other characters that just do what he does better. This Blackbeard, though, I'm going to move this Blackbeard A tier captain. I'm not a huge fan of this Blackbeard, but he's still a 5x captain for himself as an int base. He's really good for the worst generation, and that's the big reason why I want to put him in A tier captain. And that's honestly, like, literally the only reason why I want to move him up there. So, that way we can go like this, and we can remove that tier as well. Alright, let's take a look at the needs of 6+ Dookie characters. Any of these characters need to move? Don't really think so. I think that we're pretty much good here. This Boa, I want to move this Boa up into A tier sub. I was talking when the Treasure Map Koala character came out that there's no real good color affinity boosters for free spirits. Well, Boa's been sitting there the whole freaking time. You don't really use Boa that much, but she is she can be an A tier sub, but for the same sense, like, I don't know, free spirits I just never really use color affinity boosters now that I'm thinking about it. But I'm going to put her into niche when the content, I'm going to put her into A tier sub, just because she can be very, very good for that color affinity booster, and there's not a lot of them for free spirits. There's not a lot of color affinity boosters for free spirits at all. The rest of the characters here, obviously Buggy's good because he dupes drops. Honestly, Cracker, I guess you could make an argument that Cracker's an A tier sub. Block orb removal. I never use Cracker though, to be honest. Like, this A tier captain, A tier sub is like, if you really want to level these characters up, but I sort of just want to separate a bunch of characters here. This Akainu I'm going to drop to A tier captain. He's good because you get the end of turn damage, but like, you're never really using him too much. Honestly, I never use him as a sub anyway. Just, he's too impractical with the strength orb manipulation as well. This Snake Man I'm going to drop into A tier sub. You're not really ever using this Luffy, like, to be honest. Like, he's good because you get the carryover effect, but like, there's just so many characters that do that nowadays that it's just, look, it is what it is. Kuzan I'm going to drop to A tier captain as well. Same, honestly, like A tier sub. You're never really running Kuzan as a captain because you have to hit in the order of like Sai quick, so he's an A tier sub, definitely. This Sweet Generals I'm going to drop into A tier captain. Let's be real, the only reason you're running this guy is for the despair removal, like for mono strength teams, and like Garbs challenge is pretty much the only place that you'd utilize that. So that's another thing actually I forgot to mention at the beginning. I do want to rank these characters in every aspect of the game except for PvP. So like Kazuna's going to come into play, Garbs challenges, forests, all of that sort of stuff, and how good the characters are. I do think forests are the pinnacle, but Garbs challenges and that, they still are a thing that you have to do every single month as well. I kind of want to move this Katakuri up into A tier captain. I'm a big fan of this Katakuri. He's a lot of fun to play with. He's not my style, but he is a lot of fun when he works. The rest of these characters here are sort of like, yeah, cool. Jinbei, I guess you could say, is an A tier sub. We'll move him up into A tier sub. I guess so is this Sabo as well, actually. This Sabo is pretty good, especially when he gets his 6+. I guess we could sort of like shrink this category a lot as well. Big Mom, she can be a chain locker as well, so she's an A tier sub as well. Mainly for Kazuna, she's really, really good. The Arlong crew, if you need the special reverse, he's an attack booster, pretty good sub. Nami, you only really use if you need the paralysis removal. Damn it, yeah. So the rest of these characters are pretty much Gucci here. Yeah, they're pretty much Gucci. I'm pretty happy with all of that. Alright, let's go back to up here. Tessaro, S tier sub. Probably say he's an A tier sub nowadays. I really like Tessaro, or Tessaro. But, yeah, look, I just don't run him nearly as much as I used to. Honestly, he's mainly used as a support. Or for, what's her name? For Baccarat. That's the big reason that you use this character. But he is Driven, and Driven get a hell of a lot of support. So, like, let's put him into A tier sub for now. Because he's a 3.25 chain locker, and he can give some matching orbs. Shiroshi Manchuri, definitely still an S tier sub. Nami Robin, I'm going to drop to an A tier sub. You mainly need them for their paralysis removal, so that's the big thing there. This Kuzan, I'm going to drop to A tier sub as well. Mainly because he's an orb booster and a color affinity booster, but you're never really using the orb boost unless you can get matching orbs somehow, so you have to use two specials, and it kind of is what it is. This Sabo, I do want to drop him to A tier captain. Whenever you're running this Sabo, you're usually running him as captain, so that way you can actually get the chain boosting effect. And he's mainly used for stuff like Kazuna. That's really the only place you will use him, because that's where you sort of like make these sort of high-end teams. There's just a lot of other better Sabos in the game that I don't know, like, you're never really using him. I have, like, Super Type Sabo's grown on me a lot, but he's still just not like where he needs to be in terms of like team building, because he is just a mono strength captain. But Bullet is a thing, and because of that, he can be very, very good. Alright, let's have a look at S tier captains now. Let's see if we can drop anyone. Okay, Halloween Shanks I'm definitely going to drop into A tier captain, as much as it hurts my soul. He's a color affinity booster. Like, I understand the argument. Like, honestly, I kind of want to say he's an S tier sub, but I do think V2 Shanks honestly gets a little bit more love, to be honest. I run him a little bit more. But if you need a cerebral or slasher color for new booster, Shanks is usually the man. Mihawk's still an S tier captain. This Kaido, man, when this Kaido works, he's really good. Akainu, I'm going to drop into S tier sub. I only ever use this Akainu as a sub nowadays. I don't really run him for anything else. Carrot, S tier sub. You can run Carrot as a captain. Like, she is a good speed captain. But nowadays, like, yeah, honestly, I'll leave her as S tier captain. Just because, like, when she works, she works. Stampede Luffy, I'm going to drop to A tier captain. Like, he's still really good. And you can hybrid him up really, really well. But his special sort of makes him quite lackluster. Like, quite lackluster. What else we got here? This Beige, I'm going to drop into S tier sub. You're really only ever using this Beige for his Big Father effect. So that's basically the big reasoning there. Komarasaki. Komarasaki's an interesting one. I definitely want to drop Komarasaki to A tier captain. Like that. Komarasaki's good, don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of Komarasaki, damage reduction, healing, and all that sort of stuff. But nowadays, like, there's just better options. Like, there's better options. Like, there's no way you're running this Katakuri, this Komarasaki if you have Kaido. There's no way you're running the Int Komarasaki if you have something like Mihawk or even Katakuri, you know? So, like, yeah. I feel like that's justified. Garb, I'm going to drop to A tier cap, or S tier sub, sorry. You're only ever really using Garb as a sub nowadays. For niche particular pieces of content that involve, like, what's it called? Special bind removal, as well as just getting that cheeky chain lock. His support is so damn good. And that's the big area where you actually use him. Let's have a look at this now. S tier captain, no. We're going to drop you to A tier captain. Mainly because, like, you just never use this Blackbeard. Honestly, like, this Blackbeard's pretty dookie, to be honest. Like, he's a dual unit that wants to be a captain. And the only character that does that well is, like, a Sabo. So, honestly, like, I kind of want to put him in dookie. But I guess we will give him the credit he deserves and put him in A tier captain. For what he can do in Kazuna. Or what he did do in the Super Boss. Everyone else, I'm pretty happy with leaving them in S tier captain. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied leaving them in S tier captain. We are going to take a look at our S plus captains now, though. Well, sorry, S plus subs. S plus sub, I want to drop Jumanji into S tier sub. They're really good with their switch ability, amazing. But they're just not as good as, like, Fire Tank Pirates or Bonnie and, like, the Christmas Legends, Pudding, and all that sort of stuff, too. This Germa, we are going to just drop down here because we are going to talk about Germa Plus. Shiroshi, Mancherry V2 are fine. Vivi Rebecca. Vivi Rebecca I'm going to put into S tier captain. They're still really good. Like, their switch can remove special bind, and they are a very, very good cerebral captain. They make all color orbs matching. But you mainly want to, like, hybrid them up with other cerebral captains. Mainly the big dog that is Law. All of these characters I like. I'm going to drop Odin into S tier sub. S plus sub, because you're never really running Odin as a captain, and if you want to, like, he's borderline best as an S tier captain, but he's just Roger's best mate, like, and if you're running a Roger team, you usually have Odin on the team. This Law, I'm going to drop into S tier sub, S plus sub. He's amazing, like, mainly because he's a Law character. The carrier of orbs is just phenomenal, but I do feel like he's on the same par as Mihawk. He does have despair removal as well, so, like, that makes him very, very good. Honestly, for me, like, I prefer the Law and the Mihawk captains over Marco. So I'm going to drop Marco in S tier captain, and I'm actually going to bump these two up into S plus. Just because that combination's so good. Like, it's so good. Everyone else here I'm pretty happy with. Bullet I'm going to put into S tier captain nowadays. Like, don't get me wrong, Bullet still does everything really, really well, but you're never running two Bullets, right? Like, these characters here, you could definitely run two of them. But, like, Bullet, you're never running two Bullets. Sanji Pudding, I'm going to put into S tier, S plus sub. That's pretty much all you use them for nowadays. You don't ever really run them as a captain. Just because they can, like, remove damage reduction and threshold completely. That's the big reason they're there. This Luffy Zora, I'm going to drop into S tier sub. Their switch ability is what makes them so good, but, like, they're really just, like, forest-based. You can use them elsewhere, but, like, their speed just, like, slows them down. Same with, Bardo Cavendish, we're going to drop to an S tier sub. Again, dual units, like these dual units here. Honestly, I'm probably just going to put all of them. I guess, like, Sabo Koala is probably still an S plus sub. I still really like Sabo Koala. Just because they gave color affinity, which is it's a buff you don't normally, like, accumulate on a team. And, like, just to have it in a switch ability is great. Laffy, definitely moving them down to S tier sub. They're definitely, like, well past their time. For S tier captain though, can we have a look and can we move anyone down into S tier captain? I feel like these two have to go into S tier captain just because like Whitebeard is just better. And like Big Mom is just better. That's a hard one. I really don't want to put them there, but like I do at the same time. They're just way better than Katakuri. I'm gonna drop Katakuri to A tier captain. I think that's probably a good move. Definitely a good move because like if you have Bonnie, you're gonna be running Bonnie as your captain most of the time and hybriding her up with one of these two. I do still think they're way better than something like Marco. Kaido S plus captain just because of like his clear rate and stuff like that. Obviously when Kaido doesn't work and you can't use him, you're not going to be using Kaido. But like the new Denjiro event, Kaido's a weapon for. So like Kaido has to stay in S plus. Sugar with her bears and her super typing has to stay in S plus. Boa still has one of the best super typings in the game in my opinion. But Sai, like she's got a lot of competition. And she's a bit slow because she's like stally and healy. So I feel like because of that, we will move her into yeah, we will move her into S tier captain. Definitely move her into S tier captain. Alright, let's have another look here. I want to move some of these characters down as well. Law, I'm only ever really using Law as a sub now. So we're going to be a bit more ruthless. So Law's going to go into S tier sub. Law works, and it's probably one of the best aging legends besides like Rayleigh and Corazon. He's just aging like fine wine over in Japan. Like he's just so good. Shanks Crew. It's about time we move Shanks Crew. No one's ever running Shanks Crew as captain anymore. Like, the special blind is really, really good. But if you need that special blind, like, you can always run Zoro. You can still run Shanks Crew hybrid, but, like, he's just multiplies just a little bit too low now, like, nowadays. Alright, let's have a look up here. All of these amazing units. Let's take a look. Luffy Sanji. Luffy Sanji's an interesting one, right? Because, like, you normally run them as a sub, but they are still a phenomenal captain. Like, they are still very, very good with their overheal mechanic. So I kind of want to leave them up there. Let's have a look at what characters we can move up into God tier. We're definitely going to be moving A Sabo into God tier. They are quite slow with their super switch, but they basically do everything. Blind removal, despair removal, special blind removal. They basically are the reason that Shanks Crew moved into S plus sub, to be honest. Roger, obviously, he's the king. He's the king for a reason. So we are going to put him in God tier, absolute weapon. And other than that, like, I guess we could move Big Mom down into S plus captain. Because, like, if you have Whitebeard, you're running Whitebeard, right? But she's such a good sub as well. That, like, you could easily argue to me that she deserves to be an amazing. Kaido, I don't really use Kaido as a sub, but Big Mom, I definitely use Big Mom as a sub. I think we'll leave it like that for now. I think we'll do that for now. We're going to definitely move the fighting parts up to amazing. 100%. They are like an amazing sub. Their switch ability is great. They're just an incredible, incredible unit. Driven just gets better and better and better. So we're definitely going to move them up. I think that's definitely well deserved. Other than that, I think we're pretty much good. Besides this, I'm going to get a lot of slack for this. Kid's a weapon. Kid's an absolute weapon. And disagree with me, agree with me. He's the best of the Onigashima trio. I gave him a lot of slack. And your boy was wrong. I was wrong. I'll happily admit that. But Kid is the best of the three. Hands down the best of the three. He is your attack booster, your orb booster, your color affinity booster. With two of them, you can do some wild things. His damage reduction. Driven just gets better and better and better. Striker isn't as bad as it once was as well. Like, Whitebeard has sort of made that, like, a lot better. When Yamato comes out, it's going to get a lot better as well. I have to put, like, honestly, like, he's at the lower ends. Like, he's definitely here, but, like, he's up there. Like, he is up there. Definitely up there. I want to say, like, God tier, like, / top 5, to be honest. I do want to put Verse Ace up here as well. I do think the problem with Verse Ace is he has to compete with Ace Sabo. But, Verse Ace is great because of the special blind removal. And I do think I want to put Verse Akainu up here as well. Like, I think that Verse Akainu and Verse Ace are on the same pedestal. They just do different things. And for that reason, I sort of just want to put them, like, equal. And then Kid. So I think I want to do that. Like, that's my, like, big... They're my big changes. That's that big changes that I was telling you about. So God tier, these top 5, this is like my top 5 characters in the game right now. In terms of running content. Or top 4, because, like, Ace Akainu were the same. if I had to add another one, like, in terms of that, I would put Shanks and Whitebeard up here. The only reason I don't put Shanks and Whitebeard up here is because these characters all do something that's very unique. Now, base stat boosting is quite unique, and it is very, very strong. But Roger has the blow away effect. Roger, in my opinion, like, would be here if there was another tier. Ace Sabo have Despair and Special Blind Removal. They have utility. They have great power, a great special, very, very strong unit. Ace has a very good special. 2.5 orb boost, gives you matching orbs, has a chain lock, and removes special reverse in his kit. That's a big reason why it's here. And he has that amazing versatility where you can get the burn mechanic, so you get a conditional boost. Akainu obviously gets a guaranteed conditional boost, chain lock, very good orb manipulation, very good matching orbs. And then Kid has that ability to give himself the special back. He can be your attack booster, your orb booster. And Driven, in my opinion, along with Free Spirit, is like the best classes in the game. But then when we come down to the amazing tier, I do think that Whitebeard Shanks are right on the cuff. Like, right on the cuff of God tier. I would then say that Law and Luffy are on par with each other as well. So I would say that Law and Luffy would come next. Fire Tank Pirates would be next, and then Luffy Sanji. Now, I'm not a big fan of how the way Luffy Sanji rolls, but being a Rainbow Captain means that you can hybrid them up with this guy. I mean, if they're Free Spirit, it means you can hybrid them up with this guy. Because they have the overheal mechanic as well, that's a big reason why I keep them in the top. They're Free Spirit, so you can hybrid them up with this guy. You can do some crazy things. Like, you can do some really, really good things with Luffy and Sanji. And for that reason, I definitely want to put him up there. They are quite slow, though. And that is their big downfall. And they do have a little bit of a low multiplier. But if you hybrid them up, you can do some cool things. Worst case scenario, I would say they go into S tier captain. But their tankiness is just phenomenal. Like, it's just phenomenal. And, like, I normally run these guys a sub, though. Like, that's the big thing I use them for. But, like, you just can't doubt what they can do, like, over time. Like, for me, not, like, the best gameplay. Like, not the best game style. I guess you could argue the same thing for the Fire Tank Pirates. But the Fire Tank Pirates, they have that, like, blow-away mechanic that they're immune to as well, which makes them really, really good. So, these units here all are, like, the next best in terms of just under God tier. S plus Captain. These guys, you're only ever running these guys as Captain because you can make the most out of their Captain ability. Bonnie can get around fear, basically. Big Mom, she's just very, very good. Same as versus Kaido. Sugar with the super typing. Kaido with his blow away. The special blind removal of Zoro is just absolutely phenomenal. And with the new characters coming out, we are going to talk about that as well. S plus sub. I think everyone here is justified for S plus sub. I don't think we need to make any changes. I guess you could probably drop Chopper to S tier sub. We definitely probably want to drop U into A tier sub down here. V2 Shanks. I do still think he's like more used than like Halloween Shanks, but look, it is what it is. Judge, I do want to drop him to A tier sub as well. They just don't do what these other characters do. Other than that, I think we're pretty much hunky-dory. All the big changes have been made, and we can rip into the new units. Let me know what you think of the new tier list. I think it looks a bit better, and it's just a little bit less of a clusterfuck, to be honest. So, yeah, I think we fixed the kerfuffle. I think we organized the conundrum that was the tier list. So let's rip in to the new units. Let's rip in, let's rip in, let's rip in. So, the first character that did come out was Treasure Map Sanji. Treasure Map Sanji's an interesting one. He, I want to put him in S tier captain, sort of alongside Boa. I think him and Boa are very similar in terms of like their power output and stuff like that. Boa has that Mirror ability, but like Sanji's just a speed version. So because he's so fast, I do want to put him in S tier captain. I don't think he deserves to be up here in S plus captain, to be honest. I feel like if I'm running a side team, I'm still going to be using Roger as the captain. I'm going to be using Verse Shanks as the captain. I would probably even look at using something like the Fire Tank Pirates. Or even like Shanks Crew and Law. I would probably still run Boa for most pieces of content. But when I'm looking for fast teams, Sanji's the man to go to. He gives you 2 turns of special reverse as a captain. He's a 5 times captain for Free Spirits, Fighters, and Psy characters. Like, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, the problem is he's special, right? His special gives an attack boost or an orb boost for 4 turns. He auto-triggers at the start of the fight, which is great. But it's 2 times, which is really low. Like, really, really low. Yes, he's super type, he makes it 2.3, but, like, I would rather run, like, Shanks on the team and then get the 2.8. And then, like, if you run Roger, like, where do you fit the Sanji super typing in, you know? So, I do want to leave him an S tier captain, to be honest. I just don't think he provides as much as these other characters in terms of like being a captain. You could definitely run him as a sub. The problem with Sanji as well is like he has a lot of competition when it comes to Sai, and he has a lot of competition with other Sanji units. Like most of the time as a sub, I'll be running Luffy Sanji, like this guy here for their switch. They have a great attack boost. They have heal. So yeah, look, that's the downside to Sanji, but he does give healing. He does give like increased chance of landing on matching orbs. And he's a pretty good unit. He's amazing for treasure map moving forward, but like for other pieces of content, I have never run Sanji on like Japan, besides like for like showcase videos or like playthrough videos. But just for the sort of same reason that Carrot's here, in terms of being a speed captain, Sanji is going to be the man if you are looking to clear content quite fast, if you do have that big brain about team building. Alright, moving on to 6+ Germa, the new Kazuna 6+ that did arrive on the global side of the game. This guy's a weapon. Honestly, S tier sub. Their buff is incredible. 3 turns of captain swap, which is amazing. They are a rainbow captain. They are super effective against all types when they become captain, and they give themselves an orb boost, or side characters an orb boost, which just basically gives themselves an orb boost. Their super typing gives a chain multiplier buff as well. They're 5 times captain with TND or Psy orb. Very, very good sub. They just basically get around that captain swap mechanic for you, which is just bellissimo. Absolute bellissimo. Absolute bellissimo. So yeah, for that reason, I definitely want to put an S+ sub. They just got a huge upgrade from their regular 6-star, and you don't need their 6-star anymore. Now that you've got this unit, you just use that. The final 2 units that we're going to talk about in today's tier list are King and Queen. Now, King and Queen on Japan have rapidly becoming 2 of my favorite legends. And I know I've rambled on about this already, but it is the start of the hybrid meta, where you don't really run 2 characters. Like, most of the time, like, you run 2 Rogers, right? Most of the time, you run 2 Ace Sabos, 2 Verse Aces, 2 Kids. And that, like, that's the meta. But now, we are moving into a meta where you hybrid up characters to get the best of both worlds. And these 2 characters are the pinnacle of that. And for both of them, I do think they are pretty even in terms of where they sit. I do have an opinion on who I think is better, but in terms of for tier list sake, I do think they deserve to be on par with each other, but I do think Queen is better. I do think Queen is more valuable out of the 2, and that's sort of where I sit when it comes to this. So, like, if you wanted to separate them, I would do something like this. But honestly, like, I love these units, man. I love these units. Most of the time, though, when you are running them, you are going to be running them as a captain, and you are going to be running them as their, like, hybrid forms of the 2 of them. But I guess you could easily argue to me, like, to put them in amazing. They work great on their own colored teams. They work great on driven powerhouse teams. And they are just phenomenal characters for not only speed running, for damage output, for power. They're just very, very good. Very, very, very good units. Like, very, very good units. I kind of want to put them in amazing. I do think Verse, Shanks, and Whitebeard are better most of the time. But these guys aren't far behind. Yeah, I think I have to put them in amazing. They also have special reverse in their kit as a sailor as well, and they both have fear, so that is a big thing too. You can actually get around the special reverse mechanic. They have a carryover of an attack boost into a chain lock with Queen, an orb boost into a chain boost with King, and they are very good. But let's quickly talk about King first. King is a powerhouse-driven quick captain 5 times, makes quick and int orbs beneficial to your driven powerhouse and quick characters, and he gives a 1.3 times orb boost. When you trigger a attack boost on the team, though, he automatically triggers his special on the next turn, and when his special is active, he does 500 times his attack as end of turn damage. So you can get around stuff like resilience with these guys as well. And the content that's about to come out is so tailored towards these characters that it's so arrogant. It's actually super annoying. He does have a super typing as well, which gives you a full board of quick orbs and does AoE damage, provided you have used an attack boost on your team. His special gives a 2.5 times orb boost and then gives you the clock buff to give you an chain boost on the next turn and does AoE damage. Queen is like the parallel. He does everything that King does, powerhouse driven, but for Dex units this time, he's not an orb booster, he's an attack booster 2.5. Instead of a chain boost, he's a chain lock starting at 2.5 going up to 35 times. But instead of the clock buff, he gives a perfect buff. You need to hit 3 perfects to get the carryover effect. He gives 1.3 HP as well. He makes Dex and Psi orbs beneficial to Dex driven and powerhouse characters. and he does 500 times his attack end of turn damage when he has his special live. And if you use an orb boost, he automatically triggers his special in the next turn. So the way these characters work, right, if you hybrid the two of them up, if you use the king special on one turn, the next turn you activate the queen special, and then on the next turn you activate the king special, and then you can do this twice. So you can get 3 special activations with these characters, and what you can actually do with them is you can actually use them both on the same turn, get the carryover, have the attack, have the orbs, get the chain lock, get the chain boost, get the attack boost, get the orb boost, and just continue, like, do stuff. It's just phenomenal what they can do. With their special as well, they give 1 turn of special recharge to Driven and Powerhouse characters, and their color as well. It's just bonkers what they can do. They work great on Garbs challenges, the mono Garbs challenges. If there's no normal attacks only, they just blow away stages, which is really nice. And as I mentioned, they do get around Resurgence as well. They are absolutely phenomenal characters. You do not need them though, especially if you have these two. Like if you have these 2 characters, you do not need them. They are a lot of fun, but you do not need them. If you have something like Kid, and this is why I put Kid up here, right? This is why I put Kid in God tier. If you have Kid, you can easily hybrid up like Kid with Queen, Kid with King. You can do the same thing with Versakina, but Versakina, like if you take shots, like it's hard to stall and stuff. Where Kid, he's just so good. And if you haven't seen my speedruns with Kid, because Kid gives himself cooldowns at the start of the quest as well, you can just do some bonkers stuff when it comes to hybriding up these Driven teams. And like with the support that is incoming for Driven, I do want to make sure that actually sits back the way it was. With the support that is coming for, Kid, you need to go down here, bro. With the support that's coming for Driven, like, Kid's just gonna get better and better over time. And because of that, like, I love Kid. I love Kid because of, like, the characters that are coming out. But King and Queen, talking about King and Queen, they are super good. But they are just basically, like, luxury characters that just make you run content smoother. They don't really have any sort of, like, healing in their kit. They don't have any block orb manipulation in their kit, unlike, like, the super typings of, like, Luffy and, like, with cooldown and with the super typing of Law. But they are still very good characters, and if you did manage to pull one of them, be very happy because they are very good. But that's going to wrap up the tier list today, guys. Like I said, there's big changes. Let me know what you thought about the changes in the comment section below. And as I mentioned at the start, make sure to smash the like button if you haven't done so already. And if you are new to the channel, hit the big red subscribe button too. Remember, if you could disagree with something, let me know in the comment section below. If you agree with something, let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Don't be afraid to let your voice be heard, because I'm very open to discussions about this sort of stuff. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Leeds!